Koro Part 1, The Boy Who Challenged the Gods. Chapter 1, The Starving Tribe. The drought had lasted many moons. The land had cracked, the rivers had turned to dust, and the herds had vanished beyond the horizon. Every night, the cries of hungry children filled the silence. Koro's mother grew thinner each day, her hands trembling as she tried to calm the little ones. Koro, though young, felt a storm inside him. "I will not sit and watch us die," he said. "The spirits must have hidden food somewhere. I will find it." And before dawn, he set off, alone. Chapter 2, The River of Death. Mist hung over the dead river. There, in the stillness, Koro saw it. A monster. A giant crocodile older than time, with eyes like burning coals and jaws that cracked the air like thunder. But beyond the beast lay treasure, a clutch of eggs, half buried in sand. He whispered to the spirits, "Forgive me, but my people need this." The crocodile roared and Koro ran. Through mud, through reeds, the monster's jaws snapping behind him. He escaped, clutching the eggs to his chest, and the first ember of legend was lit. Chapter 3, The Hunt of the Boar. Across the plains, a wild boar charged from the brush, tusks gleaming, rage burning. Koro raised his spear, but the beast struck first, tossing him to the ground. At the last moment, his brother Tano appeared, hurling his own spear. Together, the brothers brought the beast down. It was their first great victory, the first feast in weeks. That night, under the stars, the tribe sang again. Chapter 4, The Feast of Hope. The tribe feasted, their bellies full for the first time in moons. Children danced around the fire, but Elder Naru raised his voice. "This hunt brings life, but the drought deepens. The plains will test us again." And so, even as they smiled, the people knew the struggle was far from over. Chapter 5, The Lion's Shadow. Days later, Koro watched lions hunt across the dry plains. He studied them, their patience, their teamwork, their silent courage. But when one lioness spotted him, he barely escaped with his life. From that day, he carried a scar, a mark of both wisdom and warning. He whispered to himself, to survive, one must be more than strong, one must be clever. Chapter 6, The Broken Spear Night came with fire and screams. Raiders from a rival tribe attacked, stealing food, burning huts. Koro fought bravely, but his spear shattered in his hands. He felt shame and defeat. His father Temba, once a great hunter, placed a hand on his shoulder and said, "A warrior is not his spear. Spears break, but the spirit must not." Those words would stay with Koro forever. Chapter 7, The Trial of Fire. The sun grew crueler. Dry grass burst into flames, and wind carried fire across the plains. Koro ran through smoke, carrying his little sister in his arms. He would not let her die. When they reached safety, blackened and breathless, the tribe looked at him with new eyes. The boy had become something else, a protector. Chapter 8, The Hunt for Giants. With hunger again upon them, the tribe set their sights on a buffalo, a beast so large that even lions avoided it. Many hesitated, but Koro stepped forward. "If the buffalo feeds us," he said, "then I will face it first." The battle shook the earth. Men fell, dust rose, and in the chaos, Koro remembered how lions waited before they struck. He moved with patience, then with power. His spear found its mark, the giant fell. That night, the people sang his name, Koro, the Fearless One. Chapter 9, The Rival Chief. But peace is never long on the plains. A rival tribe returned, led by a proud and cruel chief. He mocked Koro's people. "Leave the plains or we take your food and your women." Koro stepped forward, defiant. "If you want the plains, take them from me." The duel was brutal. Blades clashed. Blood spilled. Though smaller and younger, Koro refused to fall, until the rival chief dropped his weapon and knelt. The plains belonged to the fire tribe once more. Chapter 10, The Crocodile Returns. At sunset, Koro stood again by the river where it all began. The giant crocodile emerged, older, angrier, remembering the stolen eggs. But Koro did not run this time. With his hunters beside him, he faced the river spirit once more. Spears flashed, water churned, men fell. Koro leapt upon the beast's back and drove his spear deep into its skull. The river turned red, and then was still. The monster that once haunted his people was gone. Chapter 11, The Coming of the Rains. Dark clouds gathered for the first time in years. Thunder rolled, lightning split the sky, and then rain. Sweet, endless rain. The people danced, laughing as the earth drank deeply once more. Crops grew again, rivers flowed, hope was reborn. Chapter 12. The Legend of Koro. Years later, the elders spoke by firelight. He was the boy who stole from the crocodile, the hunter who fought the boar, the buffalo, and the lion, the warrior who faced fire, hunger, and men without fear. Koro became chief, not by birth but by heart, and so his name lived on, carried by wind, remembered by the stars, forever etched in the story of mankind's beginning. To be continued. And the plains were green again, but Koro's heart felt no peace. One night, as the wind howled through the huts, he dreamed of a man painted in ash and stars. The stranger's eyes glowed like twin moons. He spoke in a voice that was not sound, but thunder within Koro's soul. Open quote. You have fought beasts of flesh, but now you must face beasts of spirit, fear, pride, and anger. Only then will you be whole. Close quote. Koro awoke trembling, sweat cold upon his skin. He knew then his journey was not over. The gods were not finished with him yet. Chapter 14. The call of the mountains hunters returned from the north with stories. They spoke of giant eagles that guarded the skies, and caves that glowed red like fire trapped in stone. Mountains where the earth breathes fire, they said. Koro felt the dreams pull once again. The spirits call me there, he told the elders. But Elder Naru warned him. Open quote, those mountains swallow men whole. Not even the bravest return. Close quote. Still, Koro's eyes burned with purpose. If the gods wish to test me, he said, then let me face them on their own ground. Chapter 15. The Shadow of Betrayal. Among the chosen hunters was Boru, strong, proud, and jealous of Koro's fame. In whispers he sowed doubt. Open quote, why follow him? He is no god. He steals glory while others bleed. Close quote. As the expedition climbed the cliffs, Boru's envy grew. One dawn he led Koro toward a cliff, claiming to have seen the firestones there. But instead, he led him into a nest of eagles, fierce and wild. The sky exploded with wings and cries. Koro slipped, his spear falling from his grasp. For a moment he hung between earth and death, but he climbed, bleeding, defiant. When he reached safety, Boru pretended surprise, but Koro's eyes told him, I know what you've done. Trust was broken. Chapter 16. The Eagle's Trial. Higher they climbed until the world below vanished in clouds. There, on a ledge of black stone, the wind roared like the voice of gods. Suddenly a shadow fell over them. Vast wings blocked the sun. A giant eagle, golden and ancient, descended with a cry that shook the air. The hunters scattered, but Koro stood his ground. The eagle's talons slashed the earth. Its eyes burned with judgment. It attacked once, twice, testing him, and each time Koro rose again, spear ready, heart steady. At last, the eagle bowed its head. Koro lowered his spear in respect. In that moment, he understood. It was not a beast. It was a guardian spirit of the mountains, testing his courage, and he had passed. Chapter 17. The Cave of Firestones. Beyond the cliffs, Koro found a cave glowing with red light. Inside, stones shimmered like embers, fire trapped in rock. When struck, they burst into flame. The hunters gasped in awe. With these stones, said Koro, our people will never fear the storm again. But Boru's jealousy only deepened. He glared into the firelight and whispered, open quote, this flame should have been mine. Close quote. Chapter 18. The Trial of Friendship. When they returned, Boru challenged Koro before all. You call yourself leader, he spat, but without me, you would be dead in those mountains. Koro looked at him, not with anger, but with sorrow. I do not lead for glory, he said. I lead so that all may live. If we lose unity, we lose everything. The tribe listened. Some turned back to Koro, others followed Boru into exile. And so for the first time, the tribe was divided. Chapter 19. The Coming of Strangers. Seasons passed. One morning, a group of tall strangers appeared, their skin painted white, their shields gleaming with strange carvings. They spoke in a language none knew, yet their message was clear, submit or be conquered. They offered shiny blades for food, but demanded tribute, half the tribe's harvest. Fear grew among the people. Some whispered we should bow, others said we should fight, and Koro was torn. Chapter 20. The Oracle's Prophecy. Far to the east lived an oracle woman, blind but wise beyond measure. Koro journeyed to her hut of bones and feathers, seeking guidance. She traced the scars on his hands and said, open quote, the plains will run red with blood. One path brings glory, the other peace. You must choose, Koro of the Fire Tribe. Save your people, or save yourself. Close quote. Koro left her hut in silence, the weight of destiny upon his shoulders. Chapter 21, The War of Spears. The strangers came at night. Their war cries shattered the stillness. Flames engulfed the village once more. Koro's people fought bravely, spears clashing against sharp stone blades. And among the enemy ranks, Koro saw a familiar face, Boru, his brother of the hunt, now his brother of betrayal. Chapter 22, The Duel of Brothers. The two faced each other beneath a burning sky. Boru's eyes were wild with hate. Open quote, "It should have been me," he shouted. "The tribe should have followed me," close quote. Koro, bloodied and breathless, lowered his spear. "It was never about me," he said softly. "It was always about us." The battle raged, fierce, tragic. At last, Koro disarmed Boru, his spear at his throat. But he did not kill him. He turned away, whispering, open quote, "The spirit wins when the heart shows mercy," close quote. And Boru, broken, fell to his knees. Chapter 23, The Dawn of Peace. The strangers withdrew. The tribe rebuilt, scarred but stronger. Those who once doubted Koro now called him Chief of Fire and Mercy. Crops flourished once again. Children played by the river where it all began. And Koro, standing upon the plains, looked toward the mountains, toward the eagle's domain, and whispered, open quote, "I have faced the beasts within me. I am whole," close quote. Chapter 24, Koro the Chief. Years passed, his hair grew silver, his eyes calm as the horizon. When the young asked for stories, he smiled and said, open quote, "The world is full of monsters, but the fiercest one lives within us, and when you defeat it, no other can harm you," close quote. And so, the legend of Koro lived on, a tale told by firelight, carried by wind, and remembered by the stars. To be continued, Part 3, The Children of Koro. A new dawn rises, where Koro's descendants must face the unknown world beyond the plains, a land of ice, thunder, and gods. Would you like me to begin Part 3, The Children of Koro, next? The next generation's adventure into new lands and ancient mysteries.